Hey everybody, this is David Skarika here. Hope everyone's doing well. Um, so we're gonna have hope everyone's doing great. I'm doing this special kind of update this Saturday, and the reason being is a couple of things happened. So, as you know, I'm all into this like maximum pessimism, buying beaten up stocks, etc. And I had like four companies. I own more than that. I have seven or eight companies, but four that were really just turnaround plays. The other ones were kind of dividend value plays as well. But these were like the stocks that are down like 90, 95, 97, 99% sort of thing. And two of them recently took it off, but I got shaken out of the positions I got covered. So I'm going to show you this is the power of maximum pessimism. This is like how it works, this is how you can make a lot of money, but you have to be patient. And also, I'm going to start using moving averages to help me with these trades in the future. It's something that I used to do a lot, and because it is difficult to do. Because the problem with these kind of turnaround plays, sometimes companies don't turn around. Like I know a few that I bought that I sold and they haven't done anything. So like, and I've talked about this before. On top of that the companies being cheap and beaten up, they need like catalysts. They need like reasons for them to really be able to move. And these companies had catalysts. They're very interesting to see. But I just want to show you too, because this is one of these videos that like I'll only keep up here for about a week on the pay portion, or sorry, on the free portion of the website or of YouTube, whatever. So let's just quickly look at this right now. So we're gonna go look at this. Um, so these are the two companies I'm talking about. So um, the first one was really interesting company, EOSE. So EOSE is a company that okay, so here we here that does zinc battery, and they're doing battery storage, and they're having plant ways to like give energy. So for those of you who don't know, like zinc batteries um have a lot of benefits over lithium batteries. Now they don't charge as quickly, they don't quite last as long, but the one thing about them is they're not explosive, they're not flammable like the lithium batteries are, and they have much more flexibility in temperatures. We all know that these cars start acting much more poorly in the winter. It's one of the problems Tesla and EV owners have been having in Canada, that it gets so cold in Canada in the winter, the batteries just start working, or they're like they're 50% as effective, etc. So these zinc batteries allow to get around that, and also zinc is cheaper than lithium. There's 100 times more zinc in the world produced over lithium, so it's more abundant. You're not dependent on China with zinc. So this company is using that thing. So this is more for energy rather than for automobiles or phones or the whatnot. So, but like for energy storage, it makes sense because again, we're talking on a mass scale when you don't need to recharge it. And also, like if you do want to go to renewables, these zinc batteries or batteries make sense because if on days it's sunny, you can store your solar power. On days it's windy, you can store your wind power, et cetera, et cetera. Even with something like natural gas and diesel can go bad, right? So when you have low demand for power, you could store your natural gas, you just store it in the battery storage and then you'll sell the power after that. So this is an interesting company. So there was a small little deal I did in Canada that's like a 5 cent stock, hasn't really done much yet. And I actually sold out of it. I made a little bit of money on it. I saw some warrants. I'm just going to sit there and watch it for a bit. But this is when I was researching, because this was a zinc battery company. I was like, oh, I found another. I was wondering, there's larger companies in the US, and I found this, and I go, this is very, very interesting. So what I'm going to try to show you though is, see, I bought right around $1 here, and then I got stopped out, and then I bought again, and then I was like a couple times in and out, and then I missed this move here, which was like from 70s, 80 cents to 450. Now you can see longer term, if I draw one of my me, I love my boxes. If I draw my trapped in the box chart, what we can see is this area where it's in right now around 450 to 475. That's really the resistance of like these highs that happened in this little bounce here in 2022 and then 2023. So that's a real breakout. So I still might buy some of this because I know you're never getting, sometimes you're not going to get the exact low. And, if this thing still ends up going to 30 or $40, I think you'll be pretty happy buying at 4 or 5. So I'd probably use a stop loss, etc. But what I really wanted to show you here is the use of moving averages. So the red moving average is the 200-day, the blue is the 150. Those are the two I would really use to trade on. So we're going to go in on a shorter term chart just so we can see what I'm talking about. So when you're using the moving averages, you're gonna get shaken out sometimes. Like here, for example, I usually trade the 150. So if you look at here, the 150, you would have bought here around 150. You might have got shaken out here, but then you would have gotten right back in, right? And then you would have had this move to 550, and then really the stock broke here in September 2023 at 225. Okay, so you still would have made 50%. And of course, when something spikes like this, you can sell into the strength, etc. And then you would have stayed out of this whole decline and then essentially got in here. Now I was trying to buy it like way back here, and like I said, I got let myself get shaken out on this little move down here, and then now boom, buying the over the 150-day moving average here. That would have been like $1, as you can see here, and then the stock is 450. So that's what will happen if when you're trading these moving averages, you're gonna have a whole bunch of times where you get shaken in, shaken out, shaken in, shaken in, shaken out, blah blah blah, buy in, buy, sell out, and you might have flat trades, you might have slightly down trades, but the time buying those moving averages when they break above them, that you get the breakout, boom, you're gonna keep in. And especially like once that moving average starts sloping upwards, and you're in as long as it slopes upwards, you're really gonna stay in as well. So that's what I wanted to show you. So the other stock that I kind of got, it was BlackBerry, and BlackBerry was buying just recently. And same thing, I had a stop loss, and this is the problem with stop losses. Okay, I believe still using stop losses. You can hear my cat in the background. I think she's fighting with another cat. I'm going to pause this for a second. I'll be right back. Yeah, sorry about that. See, my cat too. She's kind of a little fat now, and she's like 13 years old. So I really and I really respond quickly now when I hear that because she used to get in, she was stray when I got her and she used to get in fights all the time, but I just don't think she'd be that great in a fight anymore because these type of cats live between 15 and 17. She's a calico. And being 13 in that age is being like basically in her 60s or something in 60s or 70s. And I think everyone can agree that all of us are a lot less spry in our 60s and 70s than say in our 20s or 30s. So, although she's still pretty like active, she still moves around pretty good even at this age. But yeah, so anyway, she's very territorial. She's the only animal I've ever had. I'm just gonna give you this. So, like, I could never get a dog or anything because my cat just doesn't put up with any other animal being on the property. So, anyhow, which is good in a way too, because then there's a lot of strays in this area. So, anyhow, there's some island life for you. So anyway, BlackBerry was another one. And again, one thing about EOSE, like they just announced big contracts and they're actually using some of the government loan they got under Biden's plan. And just recently, so to really expand and the whatnot. So same thing with BlackBerry, right? BlackBerry is they're getting into like the like technology that of automobiles like self-driving cars and a whole bunch of other things. So they have all these like turnaround technologies that can really get the company going. So like I said, I let myself shake out and look at BlackBerry again. You look at the 150. Like I said, if you're a little more conservative, you could use the 200 because the 200 would have basically kept you out since here, which was like what? 440 all the way down to here, right? Where the 150 and the 200, the 150 you might have got in, but you can also use, some, I guess you could say common sense. You don't want to buy a spike like that, right? So but the 150 would have kind of got you in here, but then you would have gone out right away. But then boom, again, look at when it broke the 150, right? Look when it broke the 200. You would have got in basically between 250 and 260. Now the stock's 360, just like over a month later. So this is what I'm going to use now going forward on top. And let's face it, with discount brokers and this and that, you're not going to get killed in commissions. nowadays. So sorry, I'm just having a little sip of coffee there. So anyhow, so this is the kind of thing that I'm going to do going forward. So, and I have a couple other companies that turn around plays. That's just for paying members. So, but I also want to show you because okay, look at I got shook out. I got missed on these, but there'll be other opportunities. And this just shows you how this maximum pessimism stuff works, right? It just when these stocks move, it's like, like look, everyone will talk about, oh, Microsoft, how great it's done, and blah blah blah, right? Okay, Microsoft started the year at like 370, 360, right? It's now 430. That's great. It's up, say, roughly 20%. But you'd be up 40% in BlackBerry, and BlackBerry's got, is a more beaten up, much cheaper company. So that's kind of like how these things can work as well, is that once these things move, everyone gets obsessed with just, oh, I should have just held NVIDIA. But it's like easy money on NVIDIA, for example, just in the recent times would have been to buy the low at 100. And then, like Stan Druckenmiller, I think, bought it at 150. That's 15 for split now, and sold it around 90, or 900. So he made six times on his money. That's that. Like, just saying that you should hold all the way up is a bit unrealistic. So that's this here as well. Um, so that's basically how this can work. But let me show you why. This is how other things work too. So I made some money on ACB, right? I sold actually into the spike. And you see it was down here. You had these two spikes here. They were just on news. I'm not going to get into the news of it. And then I sold into them. So you also, again, use common sense. You can say, oh, we broke the 200-day. But when you see spikes like this, and I didn't really see the catalyst in ACB. And one thing I was worried about, because Biden and then slash Harris were such bad nominees, and the Democrats are really the one who are going to promote, the legalization of marijuana. Um, uh, and then when they were losing, you can see that's the sell off this had. So you can see whatever I bought it, I sold it into some into the spike, and then now it hasn't gone anywhere. So and like again, if you want to look how these doing averages want to work in this rally in July, you'd be buying this at just over $5, and then when it broke the moving average here, well, the 150 was kind of broken here, and the 200 like really here, you'd be selling at 550, so as well. And I think that's another thing too with trading these. We have to see the setup that it can really move. Like notice when it's bouncing around the moving averages here. I don't think I wouldn't really trade that because I don't see on the chart that this thing's about to really move to the upside, etc. So anyhow, I just wanted to show you that. So yeah, so this is one that like, yeah, I sold and it's continued to do nothing. So, and I think it will continue to do nothing for a while. So I just wanted to show you that. Like these are two stocks. Like, yeah, I am disappointed. I'm a little mad at myself for like not staying in them, right? You got to be in it to win it, as they say, and so I am disappointed in myself. And but on the other end, it also shows you, a technique you can use to trade, and also shows you again the power of that maximum pessimism stuff. That you're in the right companies, that there's a positive catalyst going forward. These stocks, you can break out. So anyhow, for those of you interested, when I really start to promote the newsletter, these are the type of things and trades that I will be doing over the holidays. What I'm going to do is, I know technically to me the holidays are kind of starting today because it's going to be 2 slow weeks of trading now. But what I'm really going to do this week during the week, because I have to do a few things work wise around the house, and I'm going to relax for a day. Everyone knows I love football. I'm just going to watch some of the games, et cetera today. So, but what I wanted to tell you um, uh, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to researching, looking for all kinds of beaten up companies that are down 80, 90, 95% in the last few years, and seeing if they just research them, see if they have catalysts, see if they can turn around, see if the basing powder is right, and then do some of these trades. So, and by the way, one philosophy I'm going to do, because I have the 200 and 150, I don't really like the 50 because the 50 is too short term. Now, granted, when you get a big move like this, you would have bought, here on ACB, then sold here. You would have made much more money than doing the 150. But it's just that you'll be two in and out, two in and out, two in and out with the 50. So what I would probably do is, because I'm not a short-term trader either, is an intermediate term, use the 150, and then use the 200 for my longer term position. So like half the position you could buy when it breaks to 150, and then that another half you could buy when it breaks to 200, and same thing when you sell it on the way down, you know? And another mistake I did with like I commit my mistakes with EOSC and BB. I just sold the entire positions. What I should have done is sometimes I just keep 100 shares, right? 100 shares at the dollar would have been $100 in, um, in EOSE and 200 and in BlackBerry. So you keep that small position and then you just sell. Um, sorry, that's so you just buy when it breaks out because having that small position, at least it's in your portfolio, it's on your radar, right? And let's say this company went bankrupt, like is losing $100, $200 really going to be the end of your life? Yeah, anyhow, I'm going to talk to y'all later. I hope you enjoyed this special kind of update, and I had a lot of fun doing it.